I'm presenting a study to you that deals with the PR practitioners at Swiss Post and their relationship with their employer. It's a group of a bit more than 20 people that, that are responsible for communicating Swiss Post's values and messages to internal and external publics, and 19 of them participated in that study. One has retired in the meantime, and 2 were not able to join the study because they don't speak English. So first of all, some words about Swiss Post. Swiss Post is, on one hand, the basic postal service provider in Switzerland, and on the other hand, it's a company operating worldwide with about 8,000 employees in a bit more than 20 countries, and altogether Swiss Post has about 61,000 employees globally. Oops, that's turning back. So now for the actual study. Corporate communications at Swiss Post produces a lot of online and offline publications. Offline, we got a newspaper for our employees in Switzerland, one for our employees that are operating globally. We got a customer magazine, we got different newsletters, CEO, even annual report, website, Facebook, Twitter, intranet, you name it. So those publications are aimed at internal and external publics. And the key question in that study was whether those people responsible for communicating corporate values and messages are actually believing in what they are communicating. And I stole for that study. Jim Grunig and Linda Hahn helped me to do that study in a way that they came up with the relationship value questionnaire about 10 years ago with statements that describe an organization. But I didn't do an ordinary survey where those PR practitioners could tick 52 times strongly agree. I used a methodology that's called Q methodology. And in Q methodology, you are forced to sort the statements in that pyramid shaped pattern from strongly agree to strongly disagree. And I think the big advantage with a Q methodology is that you're really forced to think, if I put one statement here, is that one rather to the left or to the right? So you have to think in dependencies. And some of the statements in that relationship value questionnaire people had to sort were like, I feel a sense of loyalty to this organization, or I could not care less about this organization. This organization can be relied on to keep its promises, or I think that this organization succeeds by stepping on other people. I got the results that meant nothing to me at all at the beginning, but then I learned that it's statistics and stuff, and I learned that two distinct factors emerged that described two distinct groups of PR practitioners at Swiss Post. So the first group, or the first factor that emerged, that covered about 2/3 of the PR practitioners. I called them the enthusiastic ambassadors of the Swiss Post spirit. And if you look at that table here, statements like for example number 4, I am happy with this organization, people strongly agreed with that statement, or with number 1, this organization treats people like me fairly and justly. They also disagreed with statements like the organization fails to satisfy the needs of people like me, or they also disagreed with number 45, I think it is important to watch this organization closely so that it does not take advantage of people like me. So a group of people that are very fond of Swiss Post and that are almost enthusiastic, I would say. Then the second group or factor that emerged, I just couldn't find a picture that could illustrate it. Critics, I could easily illustrate, but critical but still loyal. If anybody has an idea, I'd be so grateful. I call them critical but loyal PR practitioners. Their statements, which defined the group, were like number 5. They agreed that whenever this organization makes an important decision, I know it will be concerned about people like me. They also agreed with, for example, number 10, the organization fails to satisfy the needs of people like me. They disagreed with statement number 1, for example, this organization does not treat people like me fairly and justly, and they also disagreed with the statement that they are happy with this organization. So, the big question now is, who should get the upper hand? Should the enthusiasts be more powerful, or the critics, in order to come up with content that is distributed in all of these and all of the online publications we are producing? And as credibility is one of the key elements of our communication efforts, I would come up with the bold assumption that if those two groups discuss the things they have to communicate before they are actually communicated, before they elaborate the content for different publication, that they are in a process of shaping much more credible messages than if you just leave the enthusiasts with their fabulous, fantastic corporate lingo that says how great the company is, how it can be trusted, how reliable it is. I think because we have the critics, but the critics are still loyal, a constructive dialogue is taking place at our company, and that's beneficial for the communication outcome internally as well as externally. And that's about it.